Hello. It is time for Sucro. I wasn't sure if I was going to stream today. This is not a usual stream day, but I didn't stream yesterday, but I'm a little tired. But I decided I could probably do a little bit of chill Final Fantasy XIV. Perhaps. Hello and welcome. Sucro is waiting politely. So it's time for Final Fantasy XIV, I guess. I didn't want to stream more Mario Wonder today because I think I should be a little less tired if I'm going to do end of a Mario game platforming, maybe? Maybe. Unclear. But yeah, it's time for Sucro, and right now I'm a sage. Which I haven't been on stream in a little while, probably. But that is because I got Warrior to 90. And Sage is at 88, so it's pretty close. So I'm working on leveling up Sage to 90 just because, I guess. So yeah. Last time we did Ether Current questlines in Labyrinthos and Thabnir. So I guess that means Garlemald is where we start. Oh boy. Time to be depressed. Time for the sad zone. The captions have capitalized zone. Evidently. Yeah. Incidentally, I do know exactly where some of the scions are, so maybe let's go there first. To the even sadder part of the sad zone. Oh hey, there's one of these. Welcome to Sad, but also, these three are here. Sucro, you came! Words cannot express how glad I am to see you. We've just begun our work here with the contingent and local volunteers. Our foremost priority is establishing the number of survivors and distributing vital supplies. As we continue our efforts, we will ensure that everything is done in consultation with the Garlean people. This is their nation, after all, and theirs must be the hands that steer its course. Sucro, guess what? Just the other day I attended to a beast terrorizing the station area, and afterwards a family came and thanked me. And on another occasion, soldiers of the First Legion taught me about the medicine they use. It's unlike anything I've seen in Eorzea. It's not all uplifting tales, of course, but every day I'm afforded the opportunity to grow. If only it weren't so cold all the time. I didn't expect to see the twins and Garlemald again. Like you, they risked life and limb to save the world, and some would say they've earned a lifetime of peace and quiet. Yet here they are. When they said they wished to help us, they truly meant it. And even if outsiders hadn't given up on us, then how could we possibly give up on ourselves? Or if even outsiders haven't. The road to recovery will be long and hard, but we'll spare no effort. We'll rebuild Garlemald into a nation that all can be proud of, for those who are still here as well as those who couldn't be. For those we can yet save, perhaps? Anyway. So there's one quest over here, children are our future, and there's 3 quests over here. Best delivered cold, stranded at the station, in pursuit of power, I think are those 3. Let's do these first. What's up? Well, well, now here's a sight that warms the heart. I never thought I'd have the honor to meet a hero of your pedigree, let alone beg for your aid. You see, I've got a shipment of supplies to send down to Tapper's Den, and having someone who knows the lay of the land by my side would go a long way to ensure its safe delivery. I defend it myself, but I have to carry the bloody thing. If you'd be so kind as to escort me, I assure you I'll make it worth your while. Nod. Well then, I'll be waiting outside the gates of the camp. Come meet me when you're ready, but don't take too long. Monsters abound in these parts. Seems simple enough. Right, I can't fly yet. That's the whole reason we're here. Mechanically speaking, anyway. Outside of the reason of helping people. I'm here because I can't fly. I like that in terms of like how the game is structured. It appears to be, I would help you, I would defend these. However, the backpack takes up the weapon slot on my model. As demonstrated by how we saw someone yesterday who had to put down the backpack to draw their weapon. Ogle, I think her name was. There you are. I knew you'd have the heart to help a soul in need. The commissary officer is now accompanying you. Keep her at your side, etc., etc. And where are you headed? That-a ways. Ogle was cool. I liked her. I'm just bad at remembering names, so I wasn't sure. Clearly, the backpack here is hinting that the next job will be the backpack user. And that's why it's in the weapon slot. It'll be some time yet before we've mapped the entirety of this vast expanse. It stretches north as far as the eye can see, unhospitable to even the hardiest of explorers. It's a wonder that the Garleans survived it all, let alone went to form the Empire. Seeing the Magna Glacius with my own eyes, however, I've gained some understanding of their disposition. So this is where we learn a little bit more about the land itself, I guess. Well, also the Garleans, but also the land. Discuss the Ceruleanbergs. The last one was discuss the Magna Glacius. This is only hearsay, but I've been told those masses are formed when ceruleum bursts forth from the earth and comes into contact with the surrounding water, freezing instantly and capturing that moment of violence forevermore. The water mixed in it prevents the ceruleum from being set aflame, so we can't use it as fuel without refinement. The amount of ceruleum you get after all that work is barely worth the trouble. Pure ceruleum is wrested straight from the earth. That's what those rigs you see off in the distance are doing, or so I've heard. I was expecting mandatory monster fights, but it looks like there's only these ones that are kinda close by. Unless this spawns something. That Tursus almost saw me. Here we are, safe and sound. I couldn't have done it without you, friend. Now all that's left is to deliver the goods. Let's enter those caves and get some shelter from these freezing winds, eh? Right. We met the Tappers a bit during the story, and haven't checked up on them since. Well, the goods have been safely delivered, but I'm afraid I have one more task to beg of you. Of course, I'd do it myself if I could, but I'm afraid this calls for someone with skills that I lack. You're not obligated to help me again, but seeing as how you're already here, maybe you won't mind hearing me out. Okay, so this is a line. So you found it within your heart to help an old friend once again, eh? Rest assured I won't soon forget your generosity. Now onto the matter at hand. The people here told me about the Magitech weaponry stalking the frozen tundra. With no pilots to guide them, they unleash their fury upon whosoever is unfortunate enough to cross their path. Several of the refugees attempted to combat the threat using a few abandoned suits of Magitech armor, but they were soon overwhelmed. It's not often you see Magitech turn on Magitech, but not much surprises me these days. Luckily no one was killed during that incident, but the mindless machines are still out there, primed and ready for their next target. That's where you come in. The stories say you're a demon in Magitech armor, and I reckon you'd reduce those things into piles of scrap before I even felt a chill in my fingertips. Like I said before, I do it myself, but seeing as how I've never even ridden in a suit of armor, I'd just be buying myself a ticket to an early grave. Rest assured, however, that I'll do my best to learn from your example. Any road, there's a suit waiting for us outside. I'll go ahead and ready it for you. Don't leave me waiting out in the cold for too long. I'd help you if I could, but I'd just get in the way. For what it's worth, I'll be praying for your victory. How's everyone else around here doing? I suppose this means we can go home now. It's strange. I grew sick of this cave ages ago, but it's seen us through some hard times. To tell the truth, I'll be sad to say goodbye to it. Looks like the bizarre goings-on have come to an end, including the attacks by them soldiers who'd gone all mad. Reckon it's high time we looked around the capital to see what we can salvage. You know, now that I think about it, it is kind of interesting that they didn't have us piloting Magitech armor in Garlemald at all until this point. Well, she's as ready as she'll ever be. I don't think I need to tell you this, but make sure not to bring those things near the cave. I'll stand watch from here to make sure all goes to plan. Stay safe out there, friend. Oh, that's not what I expected. This is not the same moveset as the Praetorium one. Okay. Can't help but to do a spin. Or a bunch of spins, depending. Oh, that's the direction I'm facing and not what I'm targeting. Oops. I did a... There you are, safe and sound. See, I knew you'd make quick work of those heaps of metal. Doubtless they were used to deadly effect when the Garleans waged war amongst themselves. In order to ensure they fired upon their own countrymen, they were made to destroy anything that came within their sights. The fact that they're causing trouble this far out is distressing indeed. I must warn my superiors upon my return. For that, however, there's yet one more task I would ask of you. I fear I might be imposing overmuch, but you have my word that this is the last one. What is this alcove over here? This is just where they put some trees, I guess. I hope Sucro is not too cold right now. One final task, and I won't bother you any longer. You needn't fight anything, at least not if you don't want to. No, this time I mean to make use of your more diplomatic faculties. One of my duties here is to find out whether the refugees wish to return home or not. Naturally, each will have their own decision, and their own reasons, but getting a general feel for things will help us determine the best way to help in the days ahead. I'll gather what information I can from the people in the caves. You only have to speak with one man, but it may take a bit of work to find him. I've been told he ventured off toward the wreckage of the Imperial train. Now, we could wait for him to return, but I'm running behind as it is. If you could do this, you'd be helping not only me, but those who've been left without a home. All those who've been left without a home. So place your bets, do you think this is the last quest in this chain? Because she keeps saying there's one more quest, so I don't really know if that's true this time or not. I say place your bets, but people probably already know the answer to that question. I don't see anyone around here. Ah, probably over here, yep. Oh, it's not often I encounter someone else out here. If you've come for ceruleum, then I'm afraid this area's already been picked clean. I'm here to ask...
Pumki Pai Ala Bazuki.
Ah, indeed. Hello and welcome. I'm here to ask if you want to return home. Oh, Jarek has already asked me as much, but I suppose you must be thorough. Could you give me a moment? I would first like to offer a prayer to the departed. This wreckage was left in the wake of one particularly fierce battle. A dear friend of mine journeyed here to search it for abandoned supplies, but a sudden explosion cut his life short. Although I'd meant to offer him a lone prayer, why don't you join me? He always was one to enjoy the company of others, even though he's scarcely new. I placed these stones to mark the spot of his passing. Pray to his memory, if you will. I will do so. Thank you. Whatever sustenance prayers provide to those who have passed, I am sure my friend is grateful for it. As for your previous question, well, I am Alamegan by birth, and was taken from my home and family by the Empire and made to serve in their interminable wars. After 10 years, my hands were so stained with blood I no longer recognized them as my own. Days, weeks, years blended into one another until I finally was released from service. For the first time in a long while, I thought for myself. Did my wife and child still live? Would they allow one so steeped in sin back into their home? Even now I cannot bring myself to consider the answers to those questions. So in short, I cannot say. Please leave me with my thoughts. I won't be far behind, I promise. Well, you'll be happy to know, sir, that El Amigo has people taking steps to welcome refugees from Garlemald and those who had to serve in the Garlemald military. So I think you would be welcome there if you chose to return. There you are. And even sooner than I anticipated. What did the man say? He's not sure yet. I see. Such a tragic story, but sadly not an uncommon one. Seems that for some, the question of where home lies has no easy answer. In any case, we've done all that we can at present. Let's return to the camp and report our findings to the contingent, eh? I should mark off that I spoke to Garlemald and Alize on my list here. So we've just got to find Y'shtola and Istinian of the main crew. Neither of whom are in areas that I will be going to for the purposes of quests. I've gone to the trouble of submitting my report already, so you needn't worry about that, and as I promised, that brings an end to my endless requests. Truth be told, my motivations for being here aren't entirely out of a sense of duty. My father was conscripted into the Garlean forces long ago, so when I heard that refugees had been found here, I had to meet them for myself. I volunteered for this duty, but unfortunately none of the refugees stirred my memories of him. Still, I won't give up on the search. No matter what misdeeds he was forced to commit, all I want is to see him again. To share a meal under the same roof. Some, like Jarek, seem resigned to accept this place as their home. But there are others like my father, who have people waiting for them, searching for them. If I can see even one family reunited, then all of this will have been worth it. Although the road ahead is a long one, it's time I stop forcing you to walk it with me. Thanks for all you've done, friend. Please take this, you've earned it 1,000 times over. Well, that's a nice little story. Good luck to you, commissary officer. You know what? I think I'm gonna go look for the rest of the scions now. Why not? I know that Istinian is somewhere in Radz-at-Han. I don't know where. I have a guess. Perhaps I am not allowed in here, actually. Maybe we'll, like, alternate a little bit, looking around for... Well, we found some scions, so we did a quest. We'll look for another scion, we'll do another quest line, or whatever. Go back and forth a bit. Huh. Well, it's not a scion, but it is a spot that I can stand and look about at. Since I only have 2 scions remaining, and I think the instructions on where to find Y'shtola are fairly clear, as well as I can fly in the zone where she is, so it won't be taking as long. I think Y'shtola will be easier to find than Estinian is. Because Estinian is just in Razet Han somewhere, and I don't know what that means. Oh. Might as well. There's a Kugane like jumping puzzle at the entrance of Razet Han. Oh dear. They said there'd be another one in Dawn Trail as well. How frightening. I was just over here, right? Yes. See, the thing about finding Estinian in Razet Han is that if I ask myself the question, if I were Estinian, where would I be? The answer is more like, you doing all right there? Oh, you're very hungry. The answer to the question, if I were Estinian, where would I be, is more like in the sky, rather than like anywhere on the ground. So the fact that he is presumably actually somewhere on the ground instead of that might make it more difficult. There's the treasure zone. The zone where treasure is at. I suppose there's not really too many places to go here. Necessarily. Here's some people running in circles. A time-honored tradition of Final Fantasy XIV and indeed MMOs in general. If you haven't spent an amount of time running in circles aimlessly in an MMO, then I don't know why not. I think that's just a behavior that arises naturally from playing one. At least it does for me, I guess. Here's all the delegates, and we can get the we could do the role quest epilogue. I'm sure that not everybody runs in circles when they play MMOs, but it's just something I end up doing inadvertently. Is Justinian somewhere in the markets getting scammed? I don't know, but I found a place where Sucro can jump on some boxes for a prize. Oh yeah, he might be over here. That would make sense, I think. There he is. And how are you doing? Isn't it wonderful to see the town and its people finally casting off that darkness, that overwhelming sorrow? Of course, none will ever forget that which we suffered through, but at least while our fellow citizens are here dining on our food, drinking our drinks, they can for a moment recall better days and maybe even find hope in tomorrow. Hello, Estinian. You've chosen maybe the most awkward spot to watch the dance performance, because there is a tree in the way, but perhaps you are not really. You've got some shish kebab skewer type situations. You're here too. I thought I would have moved on by now, but Vritra hasn't deigned to reveal the details of his request yet, so here I still am. I can't complain. I have my own chambers and am being well looked after. Too well, even. I can't help but suspect they're softening me up for an especially bothersome task. Still, the food is excellent. And he's not wearing armor. For once. He's wearing, we actually have seen him wear this before. At some point in the past. You know, he probably is sitting there specifically to avoid seeing the dancers. That seems like Estinian type behavior. Oh, there's guild ship hunt board here? I didn't realize. Why not? So there's Estinian. We found him. And now back to Garlemald. It's really early in the stream, but I'm gonna actually BRB for a second. I won't do funny gambling yet either. Okay, I am here again. Funny gambling must wait for when there's been like at least an hour since the stream started. Gala. Stranded at the station. So wait, that last one was one of 2 quest lines, but it didn't have one of the quest images. Huh. I've seen you before, in Tertium, yes? I was part of the first group transferred here, but there's someone I'm trying to find. A small boy, red hair. Have you seen him? Shake head. He's probably still refusing to budge. Questioning head tilt? Oh, my apologies. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Gala, 1st Legion. I've been doing what I can for the refugees, though I suppose I'm one myself. I see. You see, I've always tried to help those in need. Some call me a busybody, in fact. Before joining the military, I was a member of the Vigiles Urbani. And it was our duty to keep the citizenry safe. Old habits die hard, though, which is why I'm determined to look after that lad. He's been separated from his parents in the chaos, but he won't leave the station without them. Thing is, that's no place for a child his age to be fending for himself. And you've seen the conditions there. He needs food and warmth, which you and yours have been kind enough to offer. I should go back to the station to try persuading him to join your camp. Could I trouble you to accompany me? It'll do him good to see you're not the monsters he probably thinks you are. Nod. Thank you. Well then, no time like the present. There are probably some quests that don't have continuations even though they are marked by a special image too, if I had to guess. Either that or I've just chosen the 2 quest lines first. Oh. Still collecting triple triad cards, I see. Surprise hug. I forgot I have emote messages off. Right. If my prediction is correct, he should still be around here. His name is Velocis, but most know him better for his scarlet locks. Considering how reluctant he is to leave, I doubt he'd answer if we tried calling out for him. Would you mind helping me look? Interesting that this kid is apparently known for his hair color when Gala has one of the most standing out NPC hair colors I've seen in a minute. With her hair being like lavender fading into white. Maybe she just knows about people being known for their hair, I don't know. Found him. Yeah, your hair color is like, I guess also fairly rare. Who are you? I'm a cat. Don't worry about it, it's fine. Velocis, we've been looking everywhere for you. Still refusing to join everyone at the other camp, I see. I'm not going anywhere, not without Mom and Dad. Don't you see? It's for your own good. I know you. Came here with Euless, didn't you? Please, you've got to listen to me. Mom and Dad are alive. I know they are. Gasp. No one's saying they aren't. Sorry to burden you, but I have a feeling he'll be more cooperative once he's got this off his chest. Hear him out, won't you? Or would you? Nod. So many of these Ether Current quests are you could just leave at kind of a funny moment. He's safer here than outside, but it's clear he'd be better off coming with us. There must be some way to persuade him. Like, this would be a rude time to just leave. Please help me find my parents. My mom's got red hair just like me, and my dad... Volosus, you have to understand that there's little chance we'd find your parents even if we went looking for them. I do understand. That's why I'm waiting here. They promised to meet me at the station. I know it's too dangerous for me outside, but you two can fight, can't you? So please don't give up on them like everyone else. Well, it won't hurt to look for him, will it? I worry that we're only giving him false hope, but very well. After all, the least we can do is try. Thanks to my time in Vigiles Urbani, I know the capital like the back of my hand. Between the two of us, we should be able to conduct a reasonably thorough search. Nod. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see them again. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is exactly what I was afraid of. To the task at hand, then. Given the present state of the capital, tracing his parents' steps will be no easy feat. Leave it to me. Nod. Volosus, do you know anything that might help us in our search? Well, I was thinking about going back to my house, if it's still there. Where is that? Are there any landmarks nearby? It's on the outskirts of town, to the south, between the tavern and the bookshop. Sucro's immediately like, books? Wait, no, it's probably destroyed. They destroyed the books! And that's the entire reason that Sucro can be a warrior, is because they destroyed the books and she's mad about it. Not really. Oh, and Dad always used to fly a huge imperial flag in front of our house. We were the only family that had one in our neighborhood. That should be enough to go on. Alright, let's get going. Nod. Right, you have to, like, leave first. Oh. Right, I have a motorcycle. I'll talk to you again later, azure-haired woman. Actually, there's a lot of people with, like, arguably unusual hair colors around here, huh? Now that I think about it. So it's a little odd that Volosus is specifically noted as being known for his red hair, when we've got someone with, like, lavender hair fading into white and someone with bright blue hair, and... So is red hair rare in Garlemald, then? Whereas lavender and blue might not be. I guess I wouldn't know. Well, we're in the right area. Remember, he said it was between a tavern and the bookshop, and that they had a large imperial flag in front of the house. Let me know the moment you find anything that might be useful, no matter how insignificant it may seem. Now let's start our search. I slightly dislike having to go back to this part of Garlemald, but this is where a lot of things happen, including a lot of different fates. And at least, like, I'm actually Sucro this time. You find a leaflet amidst the rubble, apparently from a bookshop. The War on Ilsabard now in stock. Don't miss this chance to own the masterpiece dedicated to Emperor Solus's achievements. Try searching elsewhere for a clue to Volusus's parents' whereabouts, and show anything promising to Gala. It might be Gaia, like Gaia. Gaia? It's possible the L's could be pronounced with like a Y sound. I don't remember Latin well enough. Gaia. Gaia. I mean, that'd be really similar to Gaia, obviously. It's a little bit difficult to say. It's probably just Gala. Dang it, automated death machine. I'm trying to look around for something. I'll go with Gala just because we've already met a character named Gaia. This is a fairly wide radius to look around in. Oh, there's something. You find a letter amidst the rubble. Though much of it has been rendered illegible, you can make out the words. You're cordially invited to an evening of fine food and drink at Palatium Novum. Try searching elsewhere for a clue, etc. So I'm finding everything that's not the clue, maybe. Also, I don't know why I gave Gala the voice I did. It just sort of arbitrarily happened. Here's another piece of paper. Find a letter amidst the rubble. It begins, Dearest Volusus, I pray this message finds you well. Gala will be eager to inspect this potentially vital clue. When I say I gave her a voice, I guess it's more of like a subtle way of reading things instead of like a... I don't know, never mind. Found something, have you? Let's have a look. I have two ways of voice acting, subtle changes or goofy ones. Mostly. And slightly imitating an accent that a character has been shown to have sometimes. It's addressed to Volusus, and from his parents, no less. And you said you found it nearby. It looks like someone's tried to clear away the rubble, but then thought better of it. The place is far too exposed. His parents must have come back to see if their boy had returned home and then left him this letter. Judging by the condition of the paper, it's safe to assume some time has passed since their visit. We're unlikely to bump into them simply waiting here. I'll write a reply just in case they return, but for now let's head back to Volusus. Excellent work finding this. I'm having a flashback to Latin and remembering that there were characters with the names Loquax and Anti-Loquax who were brothers, I think. And that's a heck of a thing to... It's a heck of a thing to append and to, like... I think they were twin brothers? It's a heck of a thing to be like, oh... Twin brothers. Jim and Anti-Jim. That's their names. Thanks, Cambridge Latin course, I guess. As I recall, they were a couple of pranksters who might have used the fact that they were twins to their advantage in their pranking. Did you find anything? Why, yes, we did. A letter addressed to you from your parents, in fact. This is sure to help in our search, I know it. Can I see it? We didn't read the letter. This is addressed to me, but this isn't Mom or Dad's handwriting. Don't give up so easily, Volusus. Here, let me read it for you. I am injured, but am in... Do not worry about me, for now you must stay out of danger. Love, Vipsania. Unfortunately, it looks like the part detailing their location got wet at some stage. It's completely illegible. Vipsania, that's Mom's name. Ah, so it is from her after all. There's a good chance she's still alive. I knew it! We're one step close to finding her. In all honesty, I'm amazed we found anything. Thank you for convincing me that the search was worthwhile. It's clear as day to me now why your comrades have nothing but praise for you. With you on the case, we'll find his mother in no time. Nod. I have a suspicion that this is going to become sad. I don't think this is going to end well for anyone. Maybe Dad is with her. Until now, I thought that the best thing we could do for Volusus is to take him straight to Camp Broken Glass. But with the new information that has come to light, perhaps it is better for him to wait here a little longer, at least while we search for his parents. I appreciate you looking for them, I really do. If you're going to thank anyone, thank Sucro for changing my mind. Right, let's go over what we learned from the letter. Vipsania is injured, but in a safe location. Volusus says it's not his parents' handwriting, which means she must be with another person entirely, someone she can ask to write letters in her stead. Or at least, that's what I make of it. Do you know where she might go in a time of emergency? Maybe in Palatium Novum? She was a maid there. The last time I saw her, she was on her way there. Even with all the fighting, she had lots to do. She told me to keep listening to the radio in case there was any news about the war. If anything really bad happened, we were to meet here at the station. So the radio kept you from harm, and thanks to her forethought, you were able to find shelter immediately after the city descended into chaos. Your mother is a clever woman indeed, but I wonder, why hasn't she made her way here? She worked at Palatium Novum, Titus and Nerva's residence. Perhaps when she learned that the station was held by their enemies, the First Legion, she may have thought against coming here. Even with the war effectively over, she may have been suspected as a spy or the like. So any thoughts on the matter? She must be with associates of the royal family, or his mother's probably in Palatium Novum. That seems like a good place to look. Indeed, that explains why she told Volusus not to worry about her and to think only of his own safety. At any rate, let's make our way to Palatium Novum and see what we can find. I hope you find my mom, then we can be together again. This is going to end in some sort of tragedy, I feel like. I don't know exactly what kind yet, but I suspect something will happen. It's a heck of an assumption to think, oh, this isn't in his mother's handwriting, so she must be with someone who can write for her. When there's a number of other explanations that could have, like, someone is faking their identity for malicious purposes. But maybe I'm just thinking that because I'm expecting the tragedy to happen. Because Garlemald is sad land, full of sad events, and nothing going right for anybody recently. Well, I mean, except for when the sad things stopped eventually. That's kind of like something going right. But an absence of sadness is not necessarily happiness. Not by itself, anyway. Sucro got stuck on some rubble. I have to figure out how to get over there. Well, this is it, Palatium Novum, a far cry from its former glory, but relatively untouched compared to some parts of the capital. It was built to last, so the lower floors ought to provide adequate refuge. However, there are countless Magitech drones patrolling the perimeter, attacking any who approach. That would explain why those inside have been unable to seek shelter elsewhere. How ironic that the very Machina that once protected Garlemald are now one of the greatest threats to her people. But now is not the time for such musings. I know the interior well enough that I should be able to locate any survivors fairly quickly. Could you keep the Magitech drones away while I'm inside? Leave it to me. I'll be back as soon as I've finished my search. In the meantime, take care. Hello, welcome. We are currently in Garlemald. And a sage, also. I don't know which one is the tiresome quest. I have not yet done a quest that I would consider tiresome. The one quest I did was... Well, I don't even really know how to... It identifies itself as tiresome. I see. Well, I mean, there's a quest where someone is like, this will be the last thing I ask of you, I promise, but she doesn't really have that many things to ask of you overall. So it's sort of like the quest is claiming itself to be tiresome when it's not. And then there's this one, which is the other one I've done. And I've also talked to Alphino, Alize, Iolus, and Istinian on this stream so far. Judging by the din outside, you encountered some trouble. You have my thanks. Unfortunately, I saw no sign of the royal family or Vipsania in there, or anyone at all for that matter. Okay, it specifically says the word tiresome. I guess I haven't then. That said, it wasn't a complete waste of time. It looked like people had been living in there until fairly recently. There was a radio in there too, one of the newer models, so I imagine they avoided being tempered. It appears they've taken all the provisions and warm clothing with them, which indicates they had plenty of time to plan their exit. I did, however, spot a map of the capital, on which they'd marked a route from here to the Sinoculum Imperialis. You see where this is leading, yes? Hispania fled with the royal family, or the survivors headed to the... They must have gone to that place you mentioned, if they made a map to it. Precisely. It's hard to imagine Vipsania parting with the royal family at this point, which means she must have accompanied them on their journey. Judging by the condition of the rooms inside, I would say only a few days have passed at most since their departure. When you are ready, let's head to the Sinoculum Imperialis and continue our search. Nod. By the way, I'm a sage because I got warrior to level 90. I mentioned that earlier, but there weren't too many people here yet when I did, since I was warrior last time. I think I like paladin more at the moment. Possibly because I'm very used to it. Ready, I take it? Then let's resume our search. We'll be heading to the Sinoculum Imperialis, that enormous stone building to the northwest. Hopefully that's where we'll find Vipsania. Primal Rend is pretty good. I'd used it before in PvP situations a little bit. Okay, I think I do need to be on the lower level. This is going to be a good place to unlock flight in, because the city is a little bit tough to navigate at times. As much as I would prefer not having to navigate it, considering what happened here. Well, that's a body. That's not alive. Doesn't seem like a good start. He bears the insignia of the Royal Guard. Only the most proficient and experienced warriors are accepted into their ranks. Alas, he's no longer among the living, though evidently he's only been here a short while. What could have happened here? Ah! That came from nearby. Come on. Yeah, rip this guy, I guess. Ah, the robots. I have no idea who you are, but I owe you a great debt. There's a wounded woman over there by the name of Ipsania. Please tend to her as well. Hey, that's who we're looking for. Dang it. Hey. Dang it. That's the wrong button. Oh, come on. I'm trying to accomplish goal here. Please. I didn't need to do that. I just overwrote something. There we go. Disgusting goop sounds. I see you're not one of them, but who are you? I'm a cat. I'm Sucro. Just when I was about to lose all hope, you appear. Nod. We've been looking for you. We managed to put down the last of them. I still can't quite believe you're here at my son's request. You should be proud. Were it not for him, we might never have found you. I'm sure he'll be eager to express his gratitude to this gentleman here. Yes, he and I both served the royal family, at least until the city was plunged into chaos. I was badly injured, and he's been by my side ever since. While I was still recovering, he even penned letters for me, and placed them in the ruins of my home for my loved ones to find. I guess it was actually fine after all, and there wasn't anything evil happening. Or sad. Your praise is wasted on me, truly. After all, I and my comrades stopped you from going to meet your family at the First Legion's encampment for our own selfish reasons. Then even after the Sinoculum Imperialis, our supposed safe haven was attacked by rampaging Magitech. I shall never live down the shame of failing to protect the members of the royal household in my care. But thanks to you both, I've been spared an untimely end. Pray accept my deepest gratitude. We're glad to help, and for what it's worth, I'm sure my comrades in the First would rather let bygones be bygones than perpetuate old grudges. The two of you must come with us to Tertium. That goes double for you, Vipsania. Your son will be overjoyed to see you again. Yeah, this is a follow-up from one of the Ether Current ones. I've been doing the whole quest lines because I want to learn more about stuff and just see where they go. And also, like, you get the Ether Current after the kid's like, please find my mom, and it would seem rude to leave it there. And I him. We've been apart for far too long. Then let's waste no more time here, but we'd better not rush given your injuries. Nod. Bow. Dang it. Get out of here, overtuned specimen. I think your aggro radius is a little overtuned, if you ask me. At least Sage has basically no problem with overworld enemies. I could just teleport. I should just teleport. I guess not many jobs have problems with overworld enemies as long as they're within level, but like, Sage is pretty good at surviving for a healer. Did you find her? Mom! I'm so sorry, my love. Nod. Yeah. Plus just a lot of barriers and heals to throw around to make sure you're staying alive. Well, I guess a lot of healers probably have that, but it works well with everything else Sage has got. I simply have to know, why did you leave Palatium Novum? We both served the kin of Lord Nerva, so it was decided we would join the 3rd Legion in the Sinoculum Imperialis. But as soon as we set foot outside, the streets were overrun by soldiers in the throes of madness, and Magitech drones attacking anyone who dared cross their path. It's a miracle we even managed to escape. We eventually made it to the Sinoculum Imperialis and hid inside, though it didn't take long for the Machina to find us. You stepped in just when we had begun to abandon hope. It looks like we arrived in the nick of time. Nod. To be separated from my dear boy was more than I could bear, but I knew that even without my injuries, I wouldn't stand a chance out there on my own. But we're together now, aren't we? That's all that matters. And it's all thanks to you. Seeing their smiles as well made it worthwhile. All's well that ends well. I'm glad to see him smiling. She's right. We'll never forget what you've done for us. You truly are a hero. Leave it to me. Sucro is helping. This reminds me of why I joined the Vigiles Urbani all those years ago. It's true what they say. A good deed really is its own reward. Nod. Any road, we'd best stay here a while to allow Vipsania time to recuperate. And she's still injured after all. Then we could head to Camp Broken Glass. Group nod. Sucro helping. I thought for sure that there would be tragedy in that quest, but I guess not. Alright, now as established earlier, I'm going to abruptly change pace and location and see if I can go find Y'shtola. I was going to say Ablethwaza for a second, but that's not quite correct. And I know where she is. So Y'shtola said she'd be in Dravania. Either going to the library or visiting Matoya. I would guess Matoya. And if not, we can at least go talk to Matoya and see if she has anything to say about all this. Matoya's... yeah, over there. Well, I mean, we could go to the... we could check the... oh, that's Matoya's relict. well, Matoya's cave and the library are about equidistant from where we are right now, so... This reminds me, I realized, like, yesterday, that I was only in Heavensward a year ago. I've said a bunch of times, like, I bet it'll take me forever to get anywhere. But now I'm post 6.0, and I was in Heavensward a year ago. That's kind of wild. There was, like, a many months long gap in the middle of Heavensward at one point. But once I came back from that, as I think when I started streaming more consistently. So, hooray. And all that. Well, there she is. But also Matoya. Like old Louis Soir, you lot set out to save the world. Like him, you believed in your cause with all your heart. And like him, you succeeded. Spineless wretches of the Forum could stand to take a cue from your example. Now, as Stola would tell you, I tend to be sparing with my praise, but for what you've accomplished, you have my respect and admiration. Aw. Thanks, Matoya. Well now, have you come to check on Master Matoya? How very thoughtful of you. She appreciates your visits, even though she would never admit it. Despite her years, she remains as indefatigable as ever. To hear her tell it, she means to cite abandonment and claim the anti-tower as private property. For my part, I'm glad to see you too. I'm only here until I find the tome I'm after in the library, so your timing couldn't be better. And now we've talked to all of the main scions, as well as some other characters who were around. So hooray. What do you think, Tororogo? Okay, you're just here to tell me the usual. Right. If there's any other miscellaneous characters I haven't talked to that would be good to look for, let me know. I'm sure we'll run into some people here and there. This is not the right place. I'm sure we'll run into some people here and there, just going around doing ether currents. Like how we found Fortuno in Labyrinthos. I keep thinking I have flight when I don't, even though I'm literally doing the quests that give me flight right now. And like that's most of the point. Well, I mean, like I said earlier, that's like half the point. The other half of the point is to learn what's going on. Hello. Children are our future. Excuse me, ma'am. Have you seen a little boy with hair a similar shade to mine? He's my son, and I can't find him anywhere. It all started when I told him we ought to seek refuge in your encampment, and he started wailing and sobbing like I'd never seen. Next thing I knew, he was running hell for leather goodness knows where. I'm worried he might have left the station altogether, and the streets above are rife with danger. Please, could you find him for me? Nod. Oh, you will? Bless your heart. If I know my son, he's probably tried to return to our house to the north of Palatium Novum. Try there first before anywhere. He'll be easy to recognize, I should think, with the color of his hair and all. This is like the quest we just did, but backwards. Including the part where mother and son are connected by hair color. Is that like a branch? Is that like one of those quests that is technically connected to these and is like a epilogue to them, but isn't really necessary for the currents. Okay, yeah. Wish it had a different quest title, but you know, what can you do? Another blocked street? Who are you? I'm here to help. Also, I'm a cat. Mother sent you. Tell her I won't go to the enemy's camp. I'm going home. Boy with sky blue hair has made good his escape. You'd best resume your search for this obstreperous youth. I don't know what that word means again. Word of the day calendar. Once more. Looking around. Stop following me! I'm trying to help. Once again, the boy with the sky blue hair has taken flight and will likely be looking over his shoulder for signs of trouble from now on. With a weary sigh, he resumed the hunt. Follow the boy from a safe distance. The objective will end in failure if you're noticed or fall too far behind. But there's enemies over here. I know you're up to no good. I don't like that they've invented stealth quest featuring enemies. This concerns me greatly. Gasp. Perhaps I lost her. You do specifically have like a cone, but I don't think all of these had that before. I don't know if that means anything. This way's blocked too? Gasp. I'm going home no matter what. Gasp. Must have been the wind. I don't like that there's an enemy here. This enemy is gonna aggro me and ruin everything. Potentially. Maybe not. Since you don't even have to really go that way. You failed your objective because I tried to... Also, the enemy did aggro me. In the end, it turns out. Also, hey, this enemy isn't low enough level to be possible to avoid making mad with it at. It's impossible to not aggro this enemy because the game's level cap isn't high enough yet. Stealth quests are bad in all of video games. If you're going to make stealth video game, it has to be the only focus of the video game. Also, don't put random overworld enemies in the middle of it. What the heck? Why did they do that? Yeah, you saw me immediately because I was trying to take a wide path around the enemy to avoid aggroing it. This is not good. If you try to mash your way through that text box, it defaults to no, also. By the way. And there's the enemy that's in the way again. Do I have to try and kill this enemy? Will the kid see me if I do that? It's absolutely in the way, like unavoidably so. I think. Maybe not. Also, what does it consider too close? Or too far? This can't be. Okay. We got there. No, our home, it was right here. You again? Leave me alone. I'm staying here to build a new house, bigger and better than the old one. Kid. Child has escaped your grasp yet again. Though this may be construed as a particularly tiresome endeavor, remember that he's only a child and knows no better. You should find him before he comes to harm. This is what the tiresome quest is. Got it. I can see why. Because it required, well, the stealth section is over. And that was like the most questionable part so far. My Sage is somewhat undergeared, by the way. Mostly like level 80 stuff and like one level 78 thing, I think. So I'm not as effective as I could be, but still. It's not a problem. And I have level 89 stuff to equip soon. Why do you care so much? We're enemies, remember? Why are you trying to help me? You need help and I'm offering it. Offering it. Or how would your mother feel if something were to happen to you? Also, where's the option for we're not enemies anymore? You need help and I'm trying to help. I don't care what you say. We don't need your help. But Mother's worried. I should go back to the station. Well, at least... Yeah, alright. Children are our future, you say. It's more like children are stuck in the past somehow, even though they're like 2 years old. Must have absorbed that sort of opinion from his elders. As happens too often. I was wondering when I would see you again. I'm happy to report that my son has returned. Poor creature, you should have seen him, tears pouring down his little cheeks, crying his apologies to me. Know that you were the one who found him, though he didn't mention a word of it to me. I almost couldn't believe my ears when he said he wouldn't mind moving to your camp. I was dead against it only hours ago. What happened, I wonder? What? He was attacked by that horrid Magitech, you say? Goodness, that must have been quite a shock for my little man. Thank you for coming to his rescue. There is a salutary lesson to be gained from all this, though, one that I hope he retains. Do not scorn a proffered hand when one is in need, whether that hand be friend or foes. At any rate, I thank you for finding him. It's not much, but please, I insist. So there's some sort of quest that might be a follow-up to those two? Or might be a follow-up to something, unless I have to do the one other ether current quest that's still here. Let's zoom in. Your inventory is not full. I disagree. Okay, so none of these are the ones that you mentioned. So not yet, I guess. It seems like Garlemald has mostly special questline ones. I thought you said there were 2, but it seems like there's more than 2. Ah, just who I was looking for. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Garlemald of Ishgard. I've been put here in charge of our arrangement with Tapper's Den, you see. However, the very first of the Tappers to come bearing ceruleum has asked quite a lot of us, if I do say so. They wish for our help in getting Yoturna Platform G up and running. The very same platform that's at the head of the Imperial's primary energy pipeline. What's more, he's a Garlean. I was convinced the only engineers left in Tapper's Den were from conquered territories. In any case, I'm not qualified to judge the motives of the man. I'd feel much more at ease if I had someone of your experience helping to make the call. Nod. I thank you for your willingness to assist. Let us go and speak with the Tapper in question, then. He's a man by the name of Appius.
In Pursuit of Power has preceding quests, and its lore interesting since like many Garlemald quests it's about trying to make the place less of a war-blasted hellscape. It's also got an epilogue connected to another ether current questline. Children Are Our Future does not. Best Delivered Cold does have some quests after it, though it's not much. stranded at the station has preceding quests, and is the one that connects to In Pursuit of Power. It's also very sad.
It actually didn't turn out to be that sad in the end, because it had a good ending, where everyone was not sad. But thank you for your notes. I suppose you must be the friend Remelnod wanted to fetch. You have my thanks for getting him to agree to my proposal. Do not misunderstand, I've yet to agree to any such thing. I merely wanted someone else present during our talk. Very well, though I do believe my proffered deal would be a boon to us and the Ilsabard contingent alike. I used to work on Joterna Platform G, you see, so I know more than most about the facility and its operation. That may be so, but your relationship to the facility notwithstanding, why should a Garlean such as yourself still be taking refuge in Tapper's Den? We've been led to believe that the former workers residing there were from other territories. You're right on the technicality. I was a supervisor rather than your typical staff. When the platform went down, it only seemed right that I stay with my crew. I always thought we were close, but living alongside them in Tapper's Den has made me realize that I took them and their skills for granted. And that's to say nothing of the blind eye I turned to their struggles. That's why I came to you. It's high time I be of some real use to them and everyone else, if we're lucky. If we manage to get the platform back in working order, it'll dramatically increase our capacity to pump and refine ceruleum for everyone in the region. Sadly, we're more than a few hands short of a full workforce, not to mention the lack of supplies. Which is precisely where you come in. Help us get things up and running again, and you'll have your share of the ceruleum coming out of the rig. You couldn't come up with a more mutually beneficial arrangement if you tried. So he says, what do you think? He seems trustworthy to me. Yes, I'd been leaning the same way myself. Ultimately, what he says about the potential benefits is true. Nevertheless, I doubt the higher-ups would assent to this. I suppose that is how it goes when you're dealing with military types. For what it's worth, I do understand the hesitancy to throw your lot in with someone from a hostile nation. Thus part 2 of my proposal. I shall do you a service to prove myself worthy of the contingent's trust. I had a look around the fringes of your camp before you arrived, and I've spotted a few ceruleum engines in need of repair. If I fix them up, your superiors would have no reason to suspect I want to see you driven out. Less reason, in any case. Assisting us with the use of local technology would go a long way, I imagine. That said, I've not heard anything about the ceruleum engines we've scavenged breaking down. It's not as if they're entirely useless yet, but I guarantee they're not running as they should. Give me the opportunity and I can have them working more efficiently and safely. You're welcome to accompany me while I do so. That way you can ensure I don't get up to anything suspect, and then vouch for me with your superiors. I have no objections. I trust you will sense anything amiss. Nod. Let us begin with a proper inspection then. We can get to work as soon as you're ready, Sucro. I don't think we told this guy our name, but, sure. My apologies for dragging you into this, but I do appreciate the help. Keep an eye on him when you go to inspect those engines. Though the ultimate objective is to get the engines running at full capacity, the purpose of this inspection is to work out what parts we'll need. However, I'd hate to fumble something and be accused of sabotage, so I'd appreciate it if you could be the ones to lay hands on the devices. Never fear, I'll be right behind you telling you what to look for. If we inspect, say, 3 of them, we should have a decent idea of what needs repair. Lead the way. He is now accompanying us. We don't have any specific marked area. Oh yeah, I haven't talked to you recently, I don't think. Here to see Alize and Alphino, perchance. When we last spoke, they and Euless were planning to visit Tertium. After all they've been through, I was glad to see them in such high spirits. Their optimism is shared by many involved with the reconstruction effort, particularly my countrymen. We shall soon see their work rewarded, I am sure. For my part, I will remain in my role here and continue to serve as Ishgard's representative. You and the Scions have pulled this world back from the brink, and this sudden shift in fortunes is especially pronounced here in Garlemald. Having come so close to utter annihilation, we are now able to begin the slow process of building this nation anew. Your first step is to provide the peoples of Garlemald with the bare essentials, that they may return to living normal lives rather than merely surviving. Then there are the provinces to consider. Unfortunately, we have yet to verify the state of affairs, particularly the intentions of the legions stationed in other regions. But whatsoever may come, we shall be ready to face these challenges. Oh. I thought we were going to have like specific dialogue for inspecting that. I'd hazard a guess that the other engines are also inside of buildings somewhere. Oh, well, no, there's one over there. And I suppose there aren't that many buildings. There's not another one in here, is there? Doesn't seem to be. Once again, a wide search radius. Surprisingly wide, really, because some of it's just sort of in the middle of nothing. Ah, there's the other one. I guess I could have talked to Appius. Praise be to your deft hands. I have an idea of what our next step ought to be, though perhaps it'd be wise to apprise Rimmelnod of our progress first. I think I've learned more than enough. Let us report to Rimmelnod. Yeah, some of the search areas are a little bit large, but that one worked out. I've been doing okay with locating stuff in search areas, thankfully. They always worry me a bit. How are our engines? Alas, I fear that each of those we examined are guaranteed to break down sooner or later should you continue using them in their current state. Surely you jest. I swear it on my integrity as an engineer. You are in dire need of instruction in the proper operation of cerulean engines. You saw the little lamp light up when you touched the switch, correct? That only illuminates when there's an issue with the engine. They were switched off for want of fuel when the settlement was abandoned, no doubt, which prevented them burning out, only to let them freeze solid instead ere your lot turned them on. From the state they're in, I can only assume it didn't occur to you to warm them up first. Yeah, I was getting frustrated because I was anticipating struggling more with it after I failed once. I think having a stealth section in an area with enemy spawns is kind of flawed. Thankfully, I only failed it one time. Well, two, but the second one was only at like the very start when I tried to take a wide path around an enemy. So I failed it twice. Yeah, that part was a bit rude. For sure. I notice you have heating technology of your own, but it will do you no good should the engines to power them break, now will it? You have nothing to lose and everything to gain from my assistance. I'm a machinist from Frozen Climes myself, and what you say sounds plausible enough. Very well. On behalf of the camp, I formally ask you to repair the cerulean engines. I suppose that means I will be taking responsibility if anything goes wrong, so you may as well use your own two hands this time. That's the spirit. I knew you'd come around. And now we have flight. Though we're not done here yet. Now that Rimmelnod knows I'm worthy of his trust, we need only prove it to his superiors. ere you become even more excited, will you indeed require additional parts to perform your repairs? I cannot say I spotted any likely spares while setting up the camp. Ah, so it's so good to have a quick-thinking machinist like yourself on my side. No amount of flattery will convince me to take you to my superiors ere we have physical proof of your good intentions. Now focus, please. Are spare parts required, yes or no? Yes, you're awfully tense about the shoulders, did you know that? I will be needing a replacement carburetor for one of the engines. Fortunately, the same sort of engines were in use at Monitoring Station G last I checked. We ought to be able to find what we need there. After I've swapped out the faulty part and made my other repairs, I'll warm the engines up properly. That should clear any ceruleum residue and allow them to run at full capacity once more. With that in mind, I want to start taking things apart. Can you fetch the carburetor for me? Do you even know what a carburetor is? Nod. She's a bona fide hero, you know. You can't just ask her to do your bidding, and rudely at that. Oh, no idea, but leave it to me or I'm used to being ordered around. Oh no. I don't know exactly, but I'll do my best. If you're certain, you will need to look for a sort of tube connected to the ceruleum's engine's core. Many Magitech devices utilize them. I wonder if you are a certain level of machinist or machinist, if that is different. Because I'm not like super high level or anything. But I wonder if it's possible for your character to know what a carburetor is. I did say I could justify Sucro being a machinist if she was one. But I don't know if she would know what a carburetor is regardless. Lengthy interaction bar. The carburetor appears to be intact. Appius will know for certain. It's nice to be able to fly. Just like in general, but just unlocking flight in his own is always a good feeling. We can look at Garlemald from above. Oh. We can truly take in the scale of the capital this way, huh? Something I hadn't even really considered. I mean, they've shown it to us in cutscenes before, but... like, geez. Guess I know that I can't fly any higher. That's quite a lot of building. Also, hey, I haven't explored this part of the map over here. Hang on. Huh. That's kind of funny. Hooray! I did it. I went over this way. There's the pool where we salvage stuff with Euless. Was it this Garlean playground by any chance, since we're in one? Forum Soleus. Since we did spend time here a bit in the mustard is further west is kind of a funny sentence. It's interesting to fly over all of this and see it from this perspective, for sure. And I also keep finding these. How about that? I don't know where these are, but it seems kind of like I do. I think this building in particular is a good example of one that vaguely resembles Amarat architecture to me. Admittedly, it is partially a good example because it is one of the buildings that is most intact. But then this sort of architecture over here resembles it a lot less. Apparently they have satellite dishes, so that's neat. Oh, right. I keep forgetting that there's just Odins everywhere. Here's the dog zone, where all the dogs gather occasionally. Artificial Malevolence is a good fate name. People are fighting this. You know what? Why not? I don't know if I deserve a gold medal for that, but you know, might as well. Since a bunch of people were already fighting it. It seemed like it might have been the start of it, or like part of a chain, but I'm not sure. Huh. Not a moment too soon. Were you able to find an intact carburetor? A key component in any cerulean engine that works properly. This'll do it. Now Remelnod and I can finish fixing up those engines in no time at all. There, everything's in order. These should be much more efficient, and you'll notice they've even stopped making strange and ominous noises. Must say, I am taken aback by your abundance of skill. Allow me to thank you on behalf of everyone here at Camp Broken Glass. Oh, the pleasure's all mine. Happy to be of service. You do seem genuine about that. Tell me, do you have some sort of connection to Camp Broken Glass? In a way, I hail from Laterum, as it happens. It was a village here, precisely where your camp is now. It acted as a checkpoint for those visiting the capital, but it was also home to the rig's workers and our families. Obviously, much has happened since last I could call this place home, but in my heart of hearts, it always will be. I must apologize. We're effectively occupying your home, yet place the full burden of proving good faith in our dealings upon you. Oh no, I couldn't blame you for that. We hardly have had a viable alternative to abandoning Laterum, knowing we could never defend ourselves against wandering bands of maddened soldiers. But that reality is no more your fault than ours. Even if you vacated right this instant, I doubt many of us would return. We simply don't have the resources. Until Joturna Platform G is back in working order, that is. Truth be told, your presence here is what has me daring to hope. If you can agree to help me now, there may come a day when the other survivors and I can come home. Nod. Fury above, I certainly can't turn you away now. You've proven yourself with your work this day. I have no lingering qualms about approaching my superiors with your proposal. Truly? Oh, I could kiss you. Perhaps I should temper my expectations, or is it better to remain positive? Quick, tell me what face better endears you to my cause. If there are no objections, I will speak to the quartermaster about getting the necessary men and supplies for this operation straight away. He's stationed just over there in the pavilion. Could I trouble you to accompany me? It might help if another can testify to Appius' sincerity and competence. Nod. Great idea. What are we waiting for? One would think he didn't have a care in the world. Let us pray that Estilo is amused rather than irritated. The nerves are really setting in now. This is the quartermaster, Estilo. Have you two not met? Sort of. Ah, Rimmelnod. I see you've brought Mistress Funk and... Is that the envoy from Tapper's Den? Yes? You see, sir, it all began with Appius here. I see. Certainly be a boon to us if the platform was restored to working order. No doubt. So, you agree to help? On one condition, you must first confirm that the platform can be reactivated. We aren't blessed with a surfeit of personnel and resources, you know, thus our reaching out to the tappers to begin with. We cannot waste time and manpower on operations with little chance of success. Rimmelnod, you are tasked with assessing the current state of Joturna Platform G, as well as the precise resources we would need to commit to reactivating it. I shall make my final decision on how to proceed once I'm fully abreast of the situation. Yes, sir. In that case, Sucro and I will accompany you. Nod. You really ought to stop making decisions on Sucro's behalf, but I'd be glad for the company. Meet us at Joturna Platform G if you would. Appius can help me carry the equipment. If it can be reactivated, that platform will play a key role in restoring these lands to their former habitability. I pray you return with good tidings. Bleh. Speaking is difficult sometimes. Habitability. Habitability is probably a better way to go about trying to say that. Seems like this is going to be about 2 hours or so per zone. I mean, we're not done yet, obviously, but 2 to 2.5 hours per... seems to be how this is going. What, with actually approaching the entire quest lines instead of just gathering the currents and leaving. This is an Imperial facility, to be sure. Garish, if you ask me. Ah, I do so miss the days when we had a full crew, pumping and tinkering and operating heavy machinery on too little sleep. As much as I'd like to know what in the hell's you're on about, we have no time to be revisiting old memories. We're here for one reason and one reason only. I know. At least the exterior seems unharmed. I'll head inside and have a look around. Can you two stay here and make sure nothing large and hungry is waiting for me when I come back? That sounds reasonable. Zuko, let us keep our wits about us. Nod. Excellent. I'll see you both in a bit. Not exactly warm out here, is it? Nevertheless, we must stay focused. I hope Sucro is not cold. I said that earlier, but I'm still hoping it. Ah, Appius. How did it look? The equipment appears undamaged, though temperatures are so low that we'll need to be careful about how we turn on everything on again. It's just... What, is there another issue? In a word, yes. I couldn't find the identification key. Without it, there's no way to activate the platform, even if it were in pristine condition. And why exactly was it designed with such an obvious flaw? Flaw? Yoterra Platform G is the capital's main supplier of ceruleum. It wouldn't do if anyone could turn it off and on, now would it? The key is always kept secure, and there are only two people able to open the container it's usually stored in. Myself and Chief Frontinus. I haven't seen him since this blasted war began, but I can only imagine he's out there somewhere, key in hand. You think he took it? Guess I'm not reading every answer choice every time today. I've never met anyone quite as loyal to the Empire as Chief Frontinus. He probably took the key to stop anyone from misusing the platform. And I'd say he succeeded in his aim. It stayed dormant this whole time and out of the hands of the warring factions. Indeed. Now we just need to find out where he is. I'm sorry for wasting your time. There's no way we can get this place up and running without that key. Don't tell me you're gonna give up just like that. Not after I found a carburetor for you, you don't. That's funny. Maybe we can find another way to activate it. I suppose you're right. With the three of us together, surely we can think of something. There's probably some way to combine Garlean technology with other stuff and make it do something. I appreciate your optimism, but how are we going to solve this problem? Garlemald has precisely one solution in mind, which is notably better than zero. Is there really no way to bypass the mechanism that the identification key interacts with? What exactly do you mean? I work at the manufactory in Ishgard. I once watched my superior, as is his way, dismantle a Magitech armament and put it back together again. He succeeded in bypassing the verification mechanism required to activate the machine by rewiring it. I was wondering if something similar wouldn't be possible with the platform. That's something a second-rate thief would do. Well, beggars can't be choosers. Save your chief engineer appearing out of thin air, it's likely our only option. You've got a point there. And far be it from me to turn down a proposal from an esteemed colleague. I'm so glad to have you at my disposal. That's the spirit, I suppose. I shall return to camp to inform the quartermaster of our plan. He should be willing to spare an external power source and a few other tools if I vow to return them soon. Perhaps even some extra pairs of hands. That leaves me to open up the control panel and rearrange a few things before Garlemald returns. In the meantime, I'd thank you to keep an eye out for anything that might eat him on the way back. There were never so many beasts around before, but they must have gotten comfortable without us traipsing back and forth across the ice. A little too comfortable, if you ask me. It's not a quest unless you have to fight something. Somewhere. Maybe I should just have my chocobo. I've done all I can for now. I even caught the end of your battle with those creatures. Spectacular. Ready to get to work, I hope. Of course, all that's left is to engage in a bit of Ishgardian skullduggery. I'm not sure I care for that turn of phrase, but very well. We'll attach the power devices, which should allow you to utilize the control panel. Thrilling! This place will be up and running before you know it. Just stand back and watch the master at work. Nod. Sukra is making sure to stand far away. Quite far away, in fact. It'd be fun if this was different, if you had more machinist stuff, but I'm like not low-level machinist. So I think if it were different, it would already be different. It worked, yes? You bet it did. There's life in the old girl yet. Nod. Of course, there's still a lot of work to be done to get it ready to extract and refine ceruleum, but we're off to an excellent start. Which means Garlemald just took its first steps on the road to recovery. I cannot thank you both enough. Leave it to me. You have an extremely pointy ring, or like glove ornament. Whatever that might be. Hooray though. I'll be feeling that thrill for days. Fortunate am I to have such brilliant new friends. I'm pleased that this plan was a success after all. I appreciate your seeing it through to the end. I can leave the rest to the engineers I brought with me. They're more than capable of keeping the place operational until we're prepared for the next phase. Now let us all return to camp and inform Estelo of our triumph. Well, I could just teleport again. Very graceful landing. Ah, good to see you again. I was just wondering when I might hear how you'd fared with the platform. And it seems I won't have any longer to wait. Trust your eagerness is a sign that you had some success. Yes, sir. We were able to access the platform's controls and confirm that it's operational. There are still adjustments to be made, but I imagine it won't be long until it's fully operational. Splendid. The camp can secure a stable supply of energy we can begin rebuilding throughout the region. This guy's voice is all over the place. It will doubtless give succor to those in Tapper's Den and the capital proper as well. One of our goals when we first came here was to improve the lives of those that still call this frozen land home, and you've made a great contribution toward realizing that ambition. Thank you, sir. I certainly wouldn't have made it this far without your genius. The days when Garlemald looked toward a bright future seem so distant now that the snow and frost have reclaimed the Dominion. But I, for one, am ready to embark on the same journey that my ancestors once did, and build a new home around the warmth of cerulean flame. I am certain that when the time comes, I shall be proud to know that I worked alongside you. I must thank you as well. You've taught me to listen with sincerity to the words of those who I'd otherwise have unjustly scorned. Nod. I imagine it will be some time before we can return Laterrum to its former inhabitants, but I promise you that when we do, it will be in a better state than when you left. Well then, we'd better get to work. Ah, we indeed. Wait a minute. Borscht? I think I already laughed at borscht at some point during the garlemald portion of the game, probably. Borscht is an inherently funny word to me. Anyway. Do we now have... There's more than one quest there. I have to actually go over here and look. So is it over here then? Yeah, there it is. A quest that is a continuation of several of the quest lines we just went through. To my understanding. It's a good, like, train station sign here. I didn't notice this detail before. Since it's easier to overlook when you're not able to fly around. Right, over here, I think. Actually, it's probably underground, huh? Wait, I never talked to the Chocobo Keep over here. Yeah. Do you think your comrades will have work for me to do? It's not in my nature to sit back and let people look after me. Are there warm beds at your camp and hot food? Once we've made the journey to Camp Broken Glass, I'll help these three get settled in. I hadn't had a moment's peace since we were forced to take to shelter inside Palatium Novum, but now my son and I might finally find refuge from the madness that swept through our city. For better or worse, we have no possessions to speak of, so we're ready to leave whenever you are. And rest assured I'm well enough to make the journey. I swear I won't slow you down. But what about Dad? He wanted us all to meet here if anything happened. Your father's a resourceful man. I'm sure that wherever he is, he's found a way to get by. And if he does make his way here, the others will tell him where we've gone. Oh, what was I thinking? I was so glad to have found you that I completely forgot about your husband. It's fine, really. He's the chief of Joturna Platform G, and last I saw of him, he was on his way to work. I expect he's still there now, and if not, he may have found somewhere safer. Questioning head tilt? Something on your mind, Sucro? I met someone who worked there. Really? I must speak with them. What a fortunate coincidence. But first things first, let's get you to Camp Broken Glass before we start making further inquiries. Nod. Okay. I see how these are connected. I was wondering about that. Because I was wondering about that kid's father. Because we didn't find everybody. We only found one of his parents. This makes a lot of sense as a way to continue the quest. Ah, hello again. Since we last spoke, Appius and I have been holding regular meetings with the other machinists to discuss all manner of topics, mostly of a technical nature. Greetings, Sucro. You may be interested to know we have been kept rather busy, what with getting the platform up and running again. Have you heard anything about the chief? Why, yes, of course. I'd be happy to share what I know. Is it true you used to work on Joturna Platform G? I did indeed. You must be Chief Frontinus's wife. It's a pleasure to finally meet you, and I'm so sorry to hear you've been kept apart from your husband this entire time. Sadly, I have no clue where he is either, but I'll tell you what I know. He disappeared with the identification key? That doesn't sound like him at all. Useful information to be sure, but we'll need more than that before we can go looking for him. Volosis, could you tell us anything else about your father? He's ever so kind and he never breaks a promise. Good at making plans too. It was his idea for us to meet at the station. That sounds like the chief. All his ideas were firmly founded on logic. Tertium would act as an ideal underground shelter, and if the trains were still running, they would provide the perfect escape route. My husband is also a dyed-in-the-wool patriot. He made a point of hanging the imperial flag in front of our house for all the neighborhood to see, and often spoke of his devotion to the Empire. We have a lot in common, the chief and I. I'm certain he only took the key to stop others from misusing the platform. Speaking of the key, could you tell us a bit more about it? About it? It grants access to the entire fuel supply network, a pipeline that connects countless facilities, including the platforms and the Incaladium. I think we have all the pieces of the puzzle, but how do they fit together? He's trying to protect his family, or he must have gone to the Incaladium. Maybe he went to the Incaladium. Yes, if the cerulean pipeline is at the root of all this, that's a distinct possibility. Let's suppose he went to the Incaladium after collecting the identification key. What's next? That's it. He could use the key to halt the supply of ceruleum to the Magitech drones. Deprived of fuel, most of them would be rendered entirely inoperable. If he succeeded, and that's a big if, there's no telling what kind of danger he could be in now. Quite. Sucro, Rimmelnod, there's no time to waste. To the Incaladium. It might be Insuladium, but it could be Incaladium. Because there's a lot of, like, hard K sounds for C's in Latin. So I'm guessing Incaladium is correct. Rimmelnod's skill with a firearm should come in handy if you're forced to engage in combat. Please be careful. I want to see my dad again, but I don't want anyone else to get hurt. Thank you all so much for agreeing to look for my husband. We'll be here awaiting your safe return. My apologies for not going with you, but given my injuries, I'd only hold you back. Best of luck in finding Visania's man. Yeah. I might not remember a lot of specific Latin language, but I do remember a little bit about how it's pronounced, at least. The Man with the Golden Sun. I think I've actually done that one before. Nettle Gear Solid. Roses are red, violence is due. There's... Certainly, the fates in this game have names. That much we know for sure. So when do we get a mount that is just one of these, like, garlemald cars, but restored? When does Sucro just get to drive a normal car? I think that would be funny. Actually... something that is kind of interesting about this car, if you'll permit me a moment of unrelated activity, which I'm rambling is basically a feature of the stream. Same model as the Clockwork Novus D, I believe. More or less. Yep, same shape. Pretty close window construction. There's even like the half-cylinder looking shape on the front, kinda. It's not completely identical, but it shares a lot of similarities in how it's structured. This is probably intentional on their part. By the way, the Clockwork Novus D is very silly, if you've never seen it. Oh, and the key is the garlemald symbol. I didn't notice that before. I didn't notice that the wind-up key was the garlemald flag. But yeah, that minion is modeled upon the popular Magitech passenger... Whoop. Modeled upon the popular Magitech passenger vehicle Novus D, this tin toy is a favorite of Garlean children, who never tire of winding it up and watching it rattle along. A certain master engineer is said to have created it for both profit and pleasure. I must settle for crushing the Ironman's toys, says Seidu. So I guess this car is likely the Novus D, or some sort of Novus at least. Garlean car lore. Yeah, it's definitely intended to be some sort of like cartoon Nero like Nero driving the car in the model. The architecture here certainly makes an impression. This is actually my first time to venture this far, you know. All right, Remonad and I will search the interior while you look around outside. He may yet be waiting for the right moment, in which case he'd seek shelter from the cold. Vipsania and Frontinus has very distinctive long white hair. Keep your wits about you. Who knows what Magitech foes lie in wait. I think what we're learning about hair in Garlemald is that everybody's hair is distinct, instead of there being some hairs that are like hair colors that are rarer than others or what have you. Because we've had so many people identified by their distinctive hair in like these quests alone that it's kind of funny. Oh, I'm supposed to delete this mechanical ape at some point. I did pick up new guild chip hunts earlier. Once I get Sage to 90, I'll probably like be seeing if I feel like trying healer again by doing various trusts with it and stuff. Maybe I'll be playing as a healer again in the future. Maybe I'll go full circle for like the second time. Frontinus does not seem to be here. Try exploring elsewhere. At this point, I just sort of want to try leveling up a whole bunch of different stuff, to be honest. I guess I've gotten into the game a considerable amount again, so. However, that does make me worried that if they like remake practically everything in Dawn Trail, then you hear someone scream in the distance. Head in the direction of the noise to see if you can locate its source.
He has no skin, his soul is a gun. This king is an automaton.
Well, you missed the O, and you said this king, but, you know. His soul is a gun is a heck of a thing to say. Thank you for this Donkey Kong rap. Me going, was not in response to the idea that Dawn Trail might change things, by the way. But I'm just saying that if Dawn Trail does significantly change like every job or whatever, then, well, leveling up all of them now might actually cause a problem. So it's I'm a little unsure in that regard. I wonder if they're ever going to add like a thing to cast bars that makes it obvious when you can start moving. Like maybe make half of the bar another color. Or maybe that's just like not an intentional thing and it's just something that sort of happened and they left it in. So it's not really a feature? I'm not sure. It's got to be a feature to some degree. But maybe they'll make like an indicator on the cast bar when you can start sliding. Ugh, you saved me. But why? Okay, that is a very pointy ring that the other person had, because you're also wearing it. Some sort of 3D triangle of a ring. Is everything all right? Nod. Frontinus, yes? We've been looking for you. Must be my lucky day. The way things were going, if the drones hadn't finished me off, starvation surely would have. So much for my brilliant plan. After I barely escaped with my life, I holed up within the perimeter walls. When my supplies ran out, I decided to take one last crack at it, and look where that got me. Save your strength. We'll get you out of here. Wait, you're not one of us. Correct. My comrades and I have come to Garlemald to lend what help we can. We've made camp in the Tarum, and your family's there waiting for you. They're alive? Thank the heavens. We'll take care of Frontinus. Hurry back to camp and give his loved ones the good news. Nod. Leave this to us. We mustn't keep Vipsania and Volusus in suspense any longer. Poor Sod really is on his last legs. We better get him something to eat post-haste. Please tell my wife and son I'm sorry. I appreciate these little epilogues that tie together the quest lines and stuff. I mean, we've only seen one other one, but they've both been good so far. Did you manage to find him? Wait, where's Remelnod? Did something happen during the search? Volusus and Vipsania have been on tenterhooks ever since you departed. I do hope you have good news for them. You're back! So, did you find my dad? Gasp. Dad! Nod. Frontinus. It's wonderful to have you back, Chief. It's wonderful to be back, believe me. I'd hoped to put a stop to those rampaging drones by cutting off the supply of ceruleum. Only I bit off more than I could chew. You did your best, Chief. That's all anyone could ask. You're a brave man, reckless but brave, or at least you're back with your family. You're brave, you did good. Bit reckless, but good. I wouldn't be standing here now if you hadn't saved my bacon. Words can't express my gratitude for all you've done for me and my family. There was one other thing. We had to jury-rig the platform to get it working again since you took the key. I know you must be angry, but... Angry? Far from it. You were only trying to help the townsfolk return to a normal way of life. At any rate, I lost the identification key when I was set upon by the drones. Well, they won't be around for much longer if the contingent's got anything to do with it. You're going to love this camp too. It's full of gifted engineers. I'm sure there are all kinds of projects for you to busy yourself with once you're feeling better. And despite everything that's befallen Garlemald, our platform is set to play a starring role in the reconstruction efforts. Nod. Indeed, but more than that, I'm delighted to be with my family. I missed you too dearly. Nod. As did we. Now that we're together again, everything will be alright. I know it will. Thanks to our newfound friends, we've been given another chance at happiness. Hooray! Everything has ended well. For now. Mandatory borscht. Unavoidable borscht. You must receive the borscht. Well. And so we did, I suppose. And then that means that the next ether currents are the dang old goofy rabbits. It's Funny Rabbit Hour on Final Fantasy XIV. The Bunny Zone. All 4 of them are here. That makes sense. I will be right back. I will be right back. And then the funny rabbits will occur. However, this time, I will do the other funny thing. The funny gamble. It's time. I just realized that this is above the chat bubbles, but that's probably okay for now. Hello. Congratulations to any who won. I don't know if anyone actually won or not. Oh, where did I go? I know I said I'd be right back, but this is ridiculous. It seems that my face exploded. I must regenerate my face. Hold on. I don't know why it did that. Hello. Well, congratulations to winner, and apologies to losers, or those who did not win, I should say, because losers sounds mean. I think this or that has been that like 4 times in a row at this point. Or at least it's been that a bunch recently. Knocking Way is the first quest I spotted, so... Name that way. Hey, old person! Yes, you! Do you have a moment? Nod. You see, ever since we awoke for inspection, a friend of mine has been acting a little funny. Funnier than usual, even. I can hear him sighing from all the way over here. I'd go and call on him as I do, but he always insists that nothing's wrong. I think he'd be unable to help himself from opening up to you, though. He's always been ever so fond of people. Would you mind lending him an ear or two? Leave it to me. Many thanks to you. My friend's name is Dreaming Way, and he should be somewhere nearby. Just follow the limitations snuffling. Isn't Dreaming Way the Loperit quests NPC? Is this the one that leads to unlocking that? Because I don't have enough gather or crafter, rather. But this also does give an ether current. Regardless. Stay focused, Dreaming Way. Sure, you're no working way, but... Oh my. Howdy. Smile. You're not a Loperit. Nod. Am I dreaming? Is the day finally here? Am I truly talking with a visitor from Aetheris? Oh, whatever can I help you with, kind madam? One of your friends asked me to ask me to check on you, or I think I should be asking you that very same question. Someone wanted me to check on you. Someone's worried about you. Who put you up to such a thing? In any case, I couldn't bother an honored guest with my silly troubles. Leave it to me, come on. It's alright. You can tell me about whatever. If you insist, perhaps I could share a nibble of what's on my mind. But first, may I ask your name? Sucro. I'm a cat. Sucro Funk? A truly spectacular name! I'm sure it speaks to your character in one way or another. That's a good text box to have to keep in mind, because Sucro's good, I think. Oh, if only I could say the same for mine. Perhaps it was a mistake to choose Dream from that tome of words, for try as I might, I have no such thing. Seeing everyone else live up to their name since our awakening has only made me more aware of it. The people of Aetheris, on the other paw, seem to dream a great deal. Have you any advice for me? Focus on what you love to do. Focus on what you're good at. I say do what you love. But that's the problem. I haven't the foggiest idea what that would be. Oh, that's a mood. Though my fellow Loperits might. I've known them since we were created, so perhaps they see something in me that I cannot. With their help, you must be able to find an objectively appropriate dream for me to pursue. You know best what would be of service to mankind, after all. Nod. I'm all ears, so you only need to tell me once you've come up with something. Anything at all. Well, for some reason I get this feeling that you'd love to host a dance party. Maybe be some kind of DJ. I don't know if that's you specifically, but like, you know. I just kind of get this vibe. Huh, he's no sluggard, I can tell you that. Always happy to lend a paw when there's work to be done. Compared to some of the others, well, let's just say he's a great help. Helping way. The most general of all Loporrit names. Other than, I guess, like, cheerful Loporrit or whatever. Oh, you're a different quest. You want to know about Dreaming Way? I can't say I know him terribly well. He's always rushing off on a new task just as soon as he finishes the old one. I always thought him a good sort, though. I'll get back to you. I forgot there was a crushing way. Doesn't say anything related to crushing. Dreaming Way? He can do anything he sets his mind to. He doesn't complain about getting his paws dirty either. That said, I'm not sure I can think of anything he's particularly gifted at. I doubt there's anything he can't do, really. Once again, forgetting to talk to people a second time. Nothing Way? What do you mean Nothing Way? Hold on. Generalist Way? Look at you, you saved the day, but what about tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that? I see. Nothing Way, I think you need to go take a nap, probably. That's the impression I get. Dreaming Way is always there when I need him, and always rushing off to the next thing that catches his eye when I don't. Generalist doesn't end with an ing. Oh yeah. Stern Loporrit is on the opposite side of the aetherate from... Oh. That's very silly. I wish there was a bow Loporrit so that that joke existed in the game as well. Unless that actually does exist and I just completely missed it. By the way, Camping Way's dialogue is funny. I'm thinking of spending the whole night outside Best Way's burrow, but I'm reconsidering the whole tent idea. A cottage would surely make for a much more comfortable sleep. Do you get it? It's reference. Yeah, there's probably not actually a bow Loporrit, but it would be funny if there was. Did they have odd of interest to share? Please say that they did. Everyone said you were real good at everything and always helping, mostly. That's more or less what I expected, I suppose. Nice enough, but in no way gifted. No, that's not what they said. They said you were good at everything. Perhaps I was never meant to dream. It's never too late to dream, or don't worry, we'll find your dream yet. No, it's never too late to dream. You really think so? Goodness, people are truly as kind as they say. In that case, I promise not to give up till we found my dream, even if it's the last thing I do. Oh, that got grim. And let's exhaust our other options before we go for anything potentially lethal, shall we? So, how much of this can I do without having a gathering level? It's gonna stop me eventually, right? Oh. Well, in that case... My warmest and fuzziest thanks for your continued help, Sucro. I was thinking, if the other Loperates can't tell you what I might be best at, perhaps you could follow me around and see for yourself. My primary work includes gathering materials, equipment maintenance, and most importantly, carrot production. All indispensable to our day-to-day operations, as I'm sure you agree. Oh, okay. Gotcha. As for what to show you, perhaps a spot of foraging? Everyone likes a good forage. We'll need to go and see Thinking Way in Greatest Innsvale first. They're the Loperate who allocates this sort of work. I'd hate to step on any toes. Non-binary Loperates confirmed. I'm always on the lookout for singular they-them in video games because I guess it's becoming more common, but it still surprises me when it actually happens. Non-binary? Correct. 100% correct and true. By the way, reading way isn't eating books anymore. I've come to realize it's important to put down the book every now and then and experience some adventures for myself. Someday, perhaps I'll do just that. I shall continue polishing these floors to perfection. I get a bigger carrot every time I do, you know. Someday. Thinking Way always has some manner of vegetable, mineral, or ooze of indeterminate origin in need of gathering. I see you have a rather special companion today, Dreaming Way. What's the occasion? Oh, nothing of import. She's simply here to observe me as I go about my day. Speaking of which, are there any tasks in need of doing? As a matter of fact, there are. Building Way is in need of more crystals. Could you perchance mine some? But of course, I suppose he'll want the usual assortment. Right then, it's off to Vallis Vulneris. I'll go on ahead and look for a suitable deposit of crystals. Might I assist you with something? Oh, you're all the way over here now. I think the fastest way to get there without flight is to talk to Argos outside. Grinding Way already has every relic weapon in the game and is trying desperately to find something else to do. Oh. That's probably interesting to do. By the way, if you're wondering how much I enjoy shared fate grinding, well, I need to do more of these, but also, for having only gotten it the other day, I'm already almost done with Labyrinthos. Just because I think Labyrinthos is kind of neat, and also it's just something that works as a way to get some experience and do stuff in the background. I'm riding a dog now. I somehow never noticed that Sucro's way of sitting on Argos was this until I actually got the mount. Cube! Someone had a cube. Someone had Ozma. I forget how you get the Ozma mount. Oh. Speaking of riding over the Zodiac containment pit, we kind of do that anyway, it turns out, actually. So we can actually look down there while riding Argos. It's fairly ominous, I would say. Pretty orange and all. Yeah, I think this is the fastest way to get around here. Thanks, Argos. What a nice dog. I sense my mark to the southwest. Right, I do have an elite mark. I doubt I can solo that. Oh, a globe would be good for Sucro's apartment. I might have to do that. Well, that's the mark. You know? What if, though? Hey, you. When I said I doubt I could solo that, I meant as a sage. Who is not level 90. But then I was like, you know what? I ran into it, might as well switch to a job that can do it no problem. Boop. Gotcha. Anyway. Oh, I need to defeat Moon Mantis as well. "11 Bigs and Wedge cards in a row. That's a lot of those. I don't know what to suggest. I've never really invested in trying to get all the triple triad cards. I probably have enough decent cards that I could do that. It's like if I go to... Like, this is probably a completely fine and reasonable and usable deck. This one that's been randomly generated for me. Well, you know. I apparently have 83 cards. Well, you don't have to continue what you're doing, probably. You can probably decide, you know what, I'd rather not. Wait, what do you mean, underground? Oh, this is one of those annoying moon caves that I can never find, isn't it? Where is Benoi? Where has... Oh, it's probably this crater? No, this crater is nothing. You know what, Dreaming Way? I'll get back to you when I can fly. Because no, actually, I need to unlock flight on the moon quickly. Because the moon is annoying to navigate and I don't get it. Splitting Way? I can't believe the people never came, and after we worked so hard to prepare for their arrival, too. I'll do the other quests first. I hear you have a penchant for excitement and adventure, is that correct? Nod. And I assume in your travels you've doubtless heard of tales of the Alligans. This is how I've chosen to interpret brusque, I guess. The Alligans, don't get me started. Or yes, and nearly everything wrong with the world seems to be their fault. Yeah, it kind of seems like the Alligans caused all the problems. I thought as much. I asked because I have placed to survey an Alligan relic not far from here. The weapons guarding it, however, make it too dangerous for me to go alone. You want a sword or something? I got some of those, probably. I trust that you see where this is going, so you interested in a little adventure? Nod. Much obliged. Now let's be off, no time to waste. God, I don't like navigating the moon's surface very much, but here we go again. Someone is attuning to the ether right now. If you get every triple triad card, I think you get a mount. And by every card, I mean probably every card before a certain point. Given that that mount has existed for a while. You get like a flying card or something. I think that's the thing. So that's probably for getting X amount of them rather than all of them at this point. Unless it's not. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I just have 83 cards that I collected accidentally, more or less. Okay, there's a tiny bridge over here. Oh yeah, I think I was like, I wonder if we're gonna do anything related to these Allegan ruins that are clearly on the moon. I think I said that when we got here, and look, hey, look, we're investigating them, actually. I'm pretty sure there's a card that you can fly on. That's a thing that you can get. You just buy it? Maybe you can only buy it when you have the title or something? As far as multi-seat mounts go, I was lucky enough to be playing when this was available, so I just have this. Sucro can drive funny car. The funny car that is so large that it feels slow. Or they were in like post EU FanFest interviews, they actually recently mentioned I sped through the finale of Realm Reborn. I guess kind of true, yeah. I forgot about that. And by sped through, you mean I did a bunch of marathon streams, probably? That sounds correct. But, they actually mentioned that if there was enough request for it, they would bring the Noctis event back. In an interview, I think. Wait. Are you the Mark that I just defeated again? You are, I think. That's funny. Welcome back to the living, I guess. Sucro driving the car is pretty funny. Like, she's very small. Like, not the smallest that you can possibly be, but she, like, barely peeks out over the edge. I don't think she can see over the dashboard very effectively. Yeah, they mentioned possibly bringing back the Yokai Watch event as well, which hasn't existed while Sucro has, which is something I didn't really realize before. The crash site is just ahead. If you find anything that may prove useful, I'd be grateful if you could retrieve it for me. Nod. Onward then. After you. Why doesn't this sloppery get to have a name? Why are they just brusque? Ah, jeez. Etherochemical amplification is a heck of a name for your basic attack. Maybe you should relax a little bit. Fascinating remnant. Orb. Allegan orb on the moon. Oh no. I should have expected this, honestly. Yeah, there are a lot of search this wide area quests in Endwalker, it's turning out. We were talking a little bit about that earlier, how it seems like some of the areas may be a bit too wide. Oh, there's another thing. I seem to be having good luck with finding stuff in these quests, though. This bit of Allegan technology is certainly fascinating. A shame it's too bulky to carry back. I don't know how I do this, but I seem to be having pretty decent luck with... Hey, look, there's the other thing. How do I do this? How am I fairly consistent at finding all of the things quickly? Also, cube! This apparatus is offline, but appears to be transportable. You place it in your ambiguously sized bag. Well, I'm glad you think so, but I don't know if being good at video games translates to finding 3 objects in a large area quickly. Maybe it does. I couldn't explain a method by which I do so. It just sort of happens. Oh no! The rabbit is under attack. I already used Dosis 3. Or Decreation Dosis. I didn't even... I need to remember what that buff or debuff icon looks like. Probably. A moment longer and that drone would have alerted more. Did you find anything of interest? Nod. Oh, let me have a look. No, you're right. You must wait till we get back. I just noticed that the quest description is, the brusque loper has a mind to do something dangerous and has clearly heard of your proclivity for recklessness. Well. Safe at last. Now show me what you found. Cube. This is an Allegan decryption unit. With it, we could read Allegan tombstones about history, science, poetry, if we had any, which we did not. Adventure for another day, I suppose. Nevertheless, I'm deeply excited by the prospect, as I'm sure you can tell. You have my heartfelt gratitude. It's a good question. I'm sure there's plenty of things you could... You know what, I feel like Allegan comedy is probably not very great. Now that I think about it. Given how Allegan science tends to go. I don't know, I just have bad vibes from the idea of what Allegan comedy actually is. Yawning Way, carrots, it's what's for dinner. Yeah, they were laughing at the splicing of human and animal. Oh, bother. There's no sign of any of them, and it's almost time to eat. What's up? You there. If you happen to be heading to the Caratorium, could you let my fellows know it's mealtime? If we don't eat, I can't take my nap. Nod. Many thanks. They should come running at the mention of carrots to happiness, so just say those 3 magic words and they'll be on their way. Oh yeah, I mean like, it might be in some way connected, for sure. My friends aren't wont to refuse a well-prepared carrot, especially when it's a carrot of happiness. The mere mention should have them hopping back here in no time. I have to actually type carrot of happiness. in the designated locations. Take the square root of the roots and you get... This rabbit is doing math. Carrots of happiness. Carrots of happiness, you say? My, is that time already? I was working out projections for optimal carrot production based on the total population of Aetheris to ensure that... Oh, never mind. I must make haste, or I'll miss out. Or I'll miss out on seconds. Sometimes speaking is difficult, but I guess this rabbit is also kind of like Porky Pig now. That's just how the carrot crumbles, I'm afraid. I thought so. The animation for Phlegma is ridiculous. Oh my whiskers, a visitor from Aetheris! What do I do? What do I say? And have you brought any snacks? Carrot of happiness. Could that mean? Yes, it must be time to eat at last. Oh, how I've waited for this moment. There's nothing like a carrot of happiness to fill the void in one's belly and soul. Yeah, the robots are pretty good. I don't know why they attack. I guess they're defending the Carrotorium or something. I forget. I think they explained it. Oh, carrot, my carrot, the prize we sought is won. You're silly. You silly rabbit. Oops, I said carrot of happiness, meaning that my folly was displayed for all to see. But no one's here, so. What? They're serving carrots of happiness today? The deep, luscious orange, the tempting, slender silhouette. Wait for me, my darlings, I'm coming for you. Yeah, okay, sure. I'm just gonna move on from that one. That rabbit needs to chill. What do you think, Hoppingway? One would think I'd have some free time now that the crisis is averted, but no, I'm still busy, busy, busy. Ah, you've returned, and everyone else is accounted for. Sustenance is essential for us Loporrits, though I suppose people are the same. Nod. In any case, we expend a lot of effort raising a whole variety of carrots. Carrots of happiness are a new cultivar that are particularly comforting, though. It seems almost silly to have our workers consume so many carrots just so that we can produce more carrots. But that's a problem that can be solved with even more carrots. No need to worry about the details. I'll work out the figures just as soon as... what were we talking about? I really should be getting to work sooner or later, once I remember what I was supposed to be doing, that is. Yawning way taken out. True carrot crimes. Excuse me, miss, have you by chance seen any thieves prowling about with ill-gotten iron carrots? They're crimson, tender, surprisingly heavy, the carrots that is, not the thieves. If you hadn't seen them yet, I'm sure you will. We've been told that you adventurers are quite good at solving crimes that no one else can be bothered with. Nod. Wonderful! I'm relying on you to solve our carrot caper. Honestly, what manner of fiend would deny a lopper their dinner? Anyway, our culprit, or culprits, took 4 carrots in all. These are not easy to carry about, so I dare say they can't have gotten far. There must be a clue around here somewhere. It would be really funny if there was like just one more Loperate right next to Watching Way also having a carrot, because there's already 3 of them. So it would make it seem like the criminals are directly in front of Watching Way. If that were the case. Anyone over here in the weird Lego cactus land? No? Okay. Mixing Ways over there. Ah. A clue. This scrumptious looking iron carrot has been tragically abandoned in its prime. Wait. Okay, so just search for the iron carrots, and that's not the objective one, I guess. What do you think, Mixing Way? So your people's plan to evacuate is no more. I suppose that frees me up to resume my carrot perfecting experiments. Very well, I shall spare no effort in cultivating my masterpiece. A most supreme carrot, delectable to any Loperate with a functioning palate. What about the Loperates without a functioning palate? You gotta think about the people who can't taste as well as others. I hear humming. Oh, there's many carrots around here. The scrumptious looking carrot has tragically been abandoned in its prime again. Based on the primer you but recently received, you can say with relative certainty that iron carrots are not blue. Tragically abandoned in its prime. I do see a criminal. Based on the primer, etc., etc. Hey there, criminal. Hey there, stealing way. Thieving way, criming way, law-breaking way. These philosophers' carrots really hit the spot. Just a few more... What? What? No, of course I'm not stealing. These are mine. Is it so wrong to enjoy an early dinner? The muttering Loperate stomps off in search of a place to eat in peace. You suspect this is not your carrot, culprit. Well, okay, I didn't find criming way or whatever. We're having another moment of trying to find stuff in a place that's a little tedious to navigate on account of not having flight. Having to jump up all of these weird platforms. I guess the Loperates don't have much of an issue with it, considering they're Bunoi, and therefore they can do a jump. Most likely. I don't see anything else to inspect from up here, at least. Like, I saw all the carrots on the ground, but they didn't progress the quest any, so I don't know what it wants from me, necessarily. And they led to someone who wasn't the culprit. So, I don't know. What does that mean? Like, this is nothing. All the carrots are over here, but they don't lead to anything. And this robot's gonna get mad at me. Just checking all these again. Yeah, they don't do anything. And there's nothing else up here. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything about having good luck with these missions to find stuff, because I'm now having a problem. Here's another carrot. I don't know if I've inspected this. Oh, okay, there we go. I didn't expect I'd be looking for a supporter. Ah, you have the same text box as the Omicrons. Insufficient stock of iron carrots. Iron carrot detected. Initiating iron carrot procurement. I'm not a carrot. I'm a cat. The words are slightly similar, but so I guess I can understand the confusion, but I guess I gotta shoot you with lasers now. A carrot and a cat are not the same thing. Well, I wasn't expecting that resolution, I suppose. So the answer is that funny robot took all carrot. Are they alike in looks? Well, in terms of how the word is spelled, I suppose. And sounds. You're back! Please tell me you found the carrots. That's a good poem. The supporter? I never would have suspected. It's supposed to help us farm carrots, not eat them. I recall the technician said something about enhancing its code with a love for carrots to increase work efficiency. But to go so far as to steal carrots for itself, I fear it may now love them a little too much. Alas, those poor carrots, but at least we know what became of them and how to prevent this happening again. Thank you for your assistance. And now I can fly. Please make yourself at ease while you're here. I'll see to it that there are no unpleasant incidents. So, there's only one thing here that's an actual questline that continues, then. All of these are otherwise, like, singular quests. Now I can look at this artificial sun. And phase through it. Or this artificial whatever it is. This is a heck of a place. A suspiciously parrot-like bundle of carrots, you say. Being able to fly on the moon is going to be very helpful. Also, since they were all like single quests, this took basically no time at all compared to the last one. Funny rabbit problems are more easily and quickly solved, it would seem. I know this is not the way to go to the one that actually is a quest that I did start, but I want to look around here. Okay, it's fairly similar to the Carrotorium in terms of appearance. I do still like the rainbow crystals, though. Oh, I guess they don't have this, like, marked on the map, even though I was sort of next to it while flying around on Argos. God, being able to fly here is so nice already. I have not even done anything yet. Hello, Argos. I'm afraid I won't need your services anymore because my motorcycle can fly now. But what's over here? Oh. You know? Why didn't I expect this? It's a moon in Final Fantasy. Why did I not consider that this had to be here somewhere? Of course it's here in a place that you can't access without flight. Or maybe? No, you could actually go over here, I think. I think you would actually be able to go here. Kydonia Knolls. Oh, and there's a... Of course there is. I should have expected this. This lifelike face of enormous scale appears to peek out from the surface of Mare Lamentorum. Obviously no natural formation, it is nevertheless unknown who carved this piece, or indeed whose features it's meant to resemble. One thing is certain, the model would not find the depiction particularly flattering. Oh, the face on Mars is in the Cydonia region, so this is like specifically a reference to that? That's funny. Got your nose. I hope there's like a fate boss or something that shows up over here. I feel like Sucro discovering a giant face on the moon, standing on it and saying, "Got your nose," is something that she would actually do, maybe, if she were to find a moon face. Oh yeah, okay, so I do need to actually mark this. I can fly directly into the... Sucro is absorbing the power of darkness right now. Could do that if I wanted. Aha! This was an easier way to find Dreaming Way. Ah, you found me! Truth be told, while I was waiting, I felt an itch to get started, and before I knew it, I gathered all the crystals Building Way will need. I have a feeling you could use some sand as well, though, so why not collect it while we're here? I'm sure one bit of gray sand looks much like the rest to you, but trust me, the gray sand here is the best. Simple enough work, so would you care to join me? Nod. Splendid, I'll let you have the deposits right outside the grot. Those are always so delightfully gritty. Return here when you filled a bag or two. But I don't have any levels in mining. Dreaming Way. I guess it's fine. I need to level up botany and carpenter, because I do want to do the quests associated with those, but I don't have like money. I don't or interest in the actual mechanics of how was the sand? Coarse sand obtained from the lunar surface. Lovely as ever. Building Way will be delighted. We should make our delivery to Thinking Way as soon as possible. Last one there's a moldy carrot. Reporting in is an important part of my duties. You should try it. Why the comedy music? Ah, that was efficient. Did you manage to procure what I asked for? And more! I thought that Building Way might want some of that oh-so-sandy Valles Vulnera's sand, so we went ahead and gathered that too. Now that you mention it, he did ask me to procure some gray sand. Heavens, it would have been embarrassing if I turned up without a grain. Do you remember what he needed it for? I vaguely recall mention of a pit full of the stuff. Apparently the children of Aetheris enjoy such things. I'm more curious about how you are aware of this request. Building Way said he hadn't told anyone but me about his latest project. Well, I must have overheard you two talking when I was out collecting crystals last time. Given how far the grot is from here, that seems incredibly unlikely. But never mind that. You brought the sand, and for that I'm most grateful. See what I mean? That's some good sand! Now, while enjoying this tiny glimpse of my day-to-day life, did you find any dreams I might be capable of aspiring to? Gasp. Shaking head. Oh, don't worry if you haven't. We've only just begun after all. I really must learn to be patient. Surely the right inspiration is out there just waiting to strike. Sanding Way. Honestly, why not just like Helping Way? You're helping everybody and you're good at it. Questing Way. One way or another. Let's waste no time in continuing our work, shall we, Sucro? Thinking Way, have you any other jobs for me? I suppose there's a caretaker that wants for repairing. If I recall correctly, the particular parts you'll need will be over at Heimdall's last site. I'll get right to it. Looks like we're on maintenance duty. Come join me at Heimdall's last site as quickly as you can. I imagine Dreaming Way will be at Heimdall's last site by now. It's not that he's that much faster than the rest of us, but he's impossible to slow down once he sets himself to a task. Zooming Way. Warping Way. Going away. I guess Dreaming Way isn't looking for a new name, just looking for what their name means. Sort of. Oh yeah, absolutely. No one can beat Zooming Way at the minigame that there's no score in. I'm surprised they haven't made a gold saucer minigame out of that, honestly. There you are. I was beginning to worry you'd abandoned our quest. Now, to the Heimdall. Follow me. I'm expecting us to get into a fight and Dreaming Way just like pulls out an axe and is like a level 90 warrior or something. And then continues to claim to not be good at anything in particular. According to our records, this vessel landed on the moon about 5 years ago. It's been a wonderful source of spare parts. And also of horrible mechanical monsters, but never you mind that. I've been here countless times by now, so you can leave the salvaging to me. Simply relax and enjoy the view. Salvaging way, scrounging way, gathering way. Oh. I guess so. Oh, boil my carrots! This colorful expletive is followed by the telltale screech of a loperate in distress. Perhaps you'll have to check on Dreaming Way. Okay, maybe you're not a fighter then. Okay, definitely not a fighter. Also, one of these enemies is just using a humanoid player character model skeleton. and a laser sword, which means that a model exists in the game to give Sucro a lightsaber, but they won't. Give Sucro a lightsaber 2023. 2024 maybe. Hashtag. Sucro get lightsaber. Sucro get Photon Saber Phantasy Star. Thank heavens you were here. I tried to run, but I tripped. That gray sand is not nearly as pleasant when it's in my mouth, let me tell you. Here I was hoping to show you what a competent and capable worker I could be on my own. I did manage to get the parts we need though, so all's well that ends well. Meet me at the Caratorium and we'll see if we can't fix that caretaker. Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. Like, Dreamingway saying it arrived 5 years ago. Wait, that also reinforces the time bubble again. So once more, it's still the same year as Realm Reborn according to the game. Which bugs me a bit. Stop that. Way too much has happened in a year. Yeah. The time bubble is actively annoying to me at this point, to be honest. It is kind of funny, but also kind of irritating because give Sucro a break. Who do they think they are? Some kind of Dungeons and Dragons dungeon master? Poking fun. Let my character nap. I joke, of course. As you can see, this is the caretaker that needs our attentions. It needs the higher res texture, I think. We're gonna work on that soon. The poor thing's not even able to move right now, but it'll be as good as new once I'm done with it. Nod. Shift this over there, stick the thingamabob in the wetsuit, and... gasp. Restored to pristine condition in no time at all. Applause. Wait, most of the caretakers don't look like that, though. Most Loporets know enough to make similar repairs, though. It's really nothing special. I can't even imagine how one would go about building such a machine from scratch. Oh, something tells me my dream lies elsewhere. So is Dreamingway's issue more like they were all created to be able to do all of this stuff, so they're all kind of like hyper competent and Dreamingway can't find the specialization because everyone is good at everything? Maybe? Wow. Star Trek Online is seems kind of ridiculous then. I suppose that's more than we had to go on before, though. Not to mention that there's still one job of mine I haven't shown you yet. Would you care to see how we grow carrots? Nod. Well then, let's hop to it. Dreamingway has a bit of kid told that they're gifted, and then consequences of that upbringing vibe to them, which I would know about anyway. Well, Sucro, are you excited to learn about the wonderful world of carrot cultivation? Not that there's a lot to learn Not that there's a lot to it, truth be told. We simply place the seeds in the machine, water them, and then reap the sweet rewards. It's so easy that, well, anyone could do it. As far as I know, you're in anyone. Why not try it for yourself? Nod. As far as I know, you're in anyone is a interesting thing to say. Oh, completing menial tasks is so much more fun with friends. Pray take these seeds and follow me. I do believe there's an open creation station nearby. I love having the ability of flight. Go on, place the seeds in there. Or in here. That carefree tossing motion of yours seems to have scattered the seeds nicely. Now, of course, they'll need water. Water crystals, to be precise. This isn't the only machine in need of replenishment. Why don't you pay a visit to the sparkling supply station over in the northeast corner, and then bring a crate of crystals to the creation station nearby? I'm learning so much about Bunui. Which is good. Also, this is kind of funny because this feels like the sort of things you would be doing for a tribe quest. Whoop. And yeah. Take the bucket of crystals to the carrot creation station to the southwest before your arms give out. You will have 90 seconds. Oh dear.
In extremely all our book of pet voice, all our thoughts of Nui.
Sucro is going to go summon a primal. Yay! That should be enough to make our carrots grow nice and big. And the machine converts them into water bit by bit, so we never need worry that the seedlings are too wet or too dry. Oh, don't you just love that sound? What sound? What? Did you not hear that tone just now? That's telling us there are carrots ready for harvesting. They're not at this station, but I'm certain I heard the joyous sound of two ripened carrots. May as well see this through to the end. Pulling them is the best part. A sound attuned to Bunui frequency only. Although Sucro apparently knows somehow where they are, so... Hey, is the Warrior of Light knowing exactly where their objectives are a form of echolocation, perhaps? Eh? 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 Do you like my joke? I made it in 1 second. Anyway. Do I smell carrots? That was rhetorical. It definitely smells like carrots in here. A freshly harvested carrot guaranteed to make one forget life's woes. Ah, mouth-watering. It's really all there is to it. And to my days, to put it plainly, I apologize for not being more interesting to follow around. So have you any ideas for a dream that would suit a Loporrit like me? I don't know, you just seem really dang helpful. Maybe we should consider one of your hobbies, or what do you do when you're not working? What do you do when you're not doing all this stuff? Do anything else? What do I do? It seems it just wasn't meant to be. I never should have taken such an extraordinary name, being so very ordinary myself. If only I had some sort of skill to set me apart from the others, aside from hearing things that no one else does, I suppose. Wait, you do that? Do you like listening to music? A good ear. Have you tried making music? Have you tried being a DJ for a dance club? You have a good ear? You ever tried music? Did you unlock performance mode? Oh, I've read about this music of yours, though I'm afraid I can't make heads nor tails of the notation. Do you really think I could learn how to create something so inscrutable? Yeah, music notation's kind of a mess, to be honest. What are you... Knocking Way? What are you two up to? Sucre was just suggesting I put the dream in Dreaming Way through the pursuit of music. Music? Can't say I'm familiar. Well, there's a lot of sounds and they make a melody. They have like different pitches and stuff. Yes! We Loperids can do something similar. A whole lung, nose, face thing. Like singing. You have a singing way, don't you? Look, let's just try it and see how it sounds. Come on, Knocking Way. 1, 2, 3. But you're always doing that all the time. Everyone's always doing this. Loperids are always making that sound. Goodness, that's terribly fun! I must confess, humming in tandem is a certain charm that snorting or shrieking does not— oh, the humming together thing. I see. That's new. New invention, 2 people sing at the same time. I'd be interested in more such music, I dare say. And that'll be my dream, bringing joy to others through music. Who knows, perhaps I can inspire others to pursue their own dreams too. Smile. What were those noises? What's this all about? Why, the gift of music, of course, like this. All at once. The chorus. Sucro applause. Dazed. I think that might be enough musicking for one day. I don't know how I'll ever thank you, Sucro. You changed my life. Finally, I can hold my head high knowing that my heart will guide my way forward. Dreaming Way has a dream! Smile, nod. I love you, Dreaming Way. I love all of the Loperids. At long last, I'm living my dream. I hope someday I can repay your kindness. I cannot thank you enough for helping my dear friend. I hadn't realized he was so upset over not having a dream of all things. You helped him as only a person of Aetherius could. I still have my other tasks to attend to, of course, but I promise to practice every day. Eventually, I want to go beyond just humming and compose original music. When next we meet, I hope you'll once again lend me an ear. Maybe even 2. Oh, there's not like a gathering quest anywhere. There must be other things that lead to it. Or not the gathering quest, there must be something else that leads into, you know, the thing. The Loperit questline. I don't know what the other stuff that leads there is. But not that I could do it anyway. Anyway. So we have Elpis and Ultima Thule left. And it's been less time than I thought it would be. But I think we can have a shorter stream and just do those two next. I know that none of the Ultima Thule things have like full quest lines. I'm pretty sure. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that, but nothing was revealed as a result. I have mapped the moon. So we have some extra time. I know we'll have extra time next time though, because Ultima Thule doesn't have anything, and I'm tired today. I think this will be all for now. We can do those things next time, I think. Unless Elpis quests take like a really long time, but I know that the Ultima Thule ones should be shorter. So yeah, I guess this has been Final Fantasy XIV. A relatively short, compared to recent things, and fairly chill stream of the ether currents in Garlemald and the moon. Ah, okay. Well, I don't have much else to say, I guess. So, thank you everyone for watching. As usual, any links that you might be interested are below the stream and at borealrobin.card with 2rs.co. So have a good rest of your day and or night. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Good night.